to rise and join in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Would have roll call, please, Phyllis?
Cam Collier.
Here.
Craig Kershaw.
Here.
Matt Dyer.
Here.
Tyler Fulenkamp.
Here.
Wiley Clear.
Here. You were all emailed a copy of our minutes from our November 1st meeting. I have a motion to approve those minutes.
So moved.
Second. I have a motion from Cam and a second from Craig.
Motion.
Craig.
Who made the motion?
I did.
Matt did.
Craig.
That's what I said. Motion from Matt.
Oh, you did it.
No, I didn't. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to help Barb.
Craig Koshaw.
All in favor?
Who's on first?
All in favor? Aye. Opposed, the same.
What's on second?
This is going to be an easy, quick meeting tonight, folks. Jeremy, how about starting out with the sewer update? Tonight's report is a great report.
Just an update on the sewer project, the ongoing sewer project. Spoke with Greg Fleming today, and we're in the final little stages of the sewer project. Obviously, as you all know, they're working over here at the corner of First and Monroe right now. They're putting the last little bit of piece of pipe in the ground. He's hopeful within the next day or so he will have that all buttoned up, and he's working with the asphalt company out of Fort Wayne to try to get asphalt laid possibly this week. If not this week, it will be definitely the first part of next week. Those two areas would be First and Monroe and the two cuts on Jackson Street. Once that's completed, there's just a couple little small areas that need to be addressed. Probably the larger item is the siphon over at the Gerber building. It's the actual, and to explain that a little bit more, that is the sewer line that basically comes from the Stratton area and some of those. There's a couple structures that need to be set there, concrete manholes, to get all that tied in. Then after that is completed, you're going to see just a lot of miscellaneous going on over there. There's some lines that need to be retired, some old lines that are just, not needed anymore, and just a lot of little cleanup work. The week after Thanksgiving, Primco will be in town. Primco's a big concrete company in Fort Wayne, to do a lot of the sidewalk restoration, the curb restoration, the items that were disturbed or destroyed during construction. That shouldn't take much more than probably a week or so, to weather permitting, to complete all the items that they have to do. Then from there, it's just a lot of housekeeping. They will be delivering a dozer in the next week or so to do a lot of the little grading, especially along north of the blue tank, to make sure that it doesn't hold water in any place, in the next 4 or 5 months during the winter months and such. Just touching a lot of things up. Greg's hope is the second week in December to actually be out of here and be moving equipment out, which will be a good thing for everyone, really. But the total completion of the project won't be until probably April or May of 2017. Basically, in the original contract, it stated that the actual completion, all the finished grade, all the finished work had to be completed this year. And we worked that out to where, with the late start that they had with the delays, Ken and I and Dan and the engineers discussed letting them go into the spring, letting things settle out. So we didn't have additional work on our end and additional cost after the project was closed out. So just because you see the equipment leaving town doesn't mean that the total project's completed. There will be a lot of cleanup and a lot of seeding, mulching and stuff to do probably a lot of paving yet in the spring with the parking lot. And some of the areas that they're going to be a little less traveled. My biggest concern is making sure that we have the roads and everything all buttoned up for winter, so it's really not a hazard, which, you know, will be no problem. I do really want to commend Greg Fleming and his crew. They've done a wonderful job, you know, with the project. They've stayed on schedule. You know, they've really saved us a lot of time and a lot of money, just finding some little things that needed to be addressed and will need to be addressed in the future. But like I said, you guys need to be proud of the work that they've done, and, you know, commend Greg when you see him
Yep, please do.
of all the good work.
The guys that work for him, they are pretty amazing.
Our inspector kept saying, everything's going so smooth, and she just was impressed.
Dan and I, we kept getting kicks going out, and every now and then, every time I leave the building for something, I'd go out and look in this hole out here. Every time I go out and look, it's amazing how much they progress. I mean, I didn't even know when I was wanting to watch them bring that big structure over, and next thing you know, it's already here and down in their hole. I don't know how they got it over here underneath the traffic lights and everything, but it's very impressive.
You know, they've had some late nights working. You know, things didn't always go 100% as planned, but they stuck with it. They stayed late a few nights to make sure everything was taken care of, you know, before they went home, so it didn't cost them any additional work and additional money on our end on the project.
We really only had rain problems one or two times, which was good. It's been kind of dry.
The one rain event caused them to work till about 10:30 one night. But that was probably the most substantial impact that they had on that project.
Yep. I just wanted you to come up, Ann. I thought you maybe could repeat what you told us during the Board of Works meeting for the media to hear.
The overflow number 9 by the Monroe Street Bridge has been cemented shut. I know that kind of puts fear in Tim's...
I'm trusting
maybe,
it.
But, yeah, that's kind of a big deal. Now we're down to 2 overflows again. We tried it one other time, but hopefully this one is a go. And yeah, I just mentioned at the Board of Works meeting that I think Decatur should be proud of where they're at right now. In 1982, we had 17 overflows, and now we're down to 2. And if you read about cities our size in other places that are just starting to grapple with this problem, that we've come a long way, and we should be proud of what we've accomplished and kept at it, and we're close to the end.
Yep.
You know, and everyone needs to be somewhat cautious because there will be work in the future
we still have
to meet our
interceptor
compliance.
going.
To meet our compliance, we will have to be doing a lot of flow monitoring and stuff just to prove that, you know, we've reduced.
Yeah, well,
And we have to maintain. We can't allow this infiltration to get into old sewers. We have to keep maintaining.
so once this is done out here, then and I guess the siphons, whatever, once all that last little bit is buttoned up, should we then try to start the monitoring process as soon as possible?
I talked to Bill about that, and probably next spring, maybe March. We'd like to hit the wet season at the, you know, in the spring.
Right.
And yeah, he was going to discuss that with us. But yeah,
Okay.
as soon. It doesn't have to be,
And we can use our excess money from the project to go toward that. I mean, that's part of that was part of the idea,
Yes.
right?
Bond proceeds, yeah. The bond ordinance covers a whole laundry list of different types of projects that those funds could be used, so that could be applied to it.
We've also been identifying different areas around the city that are potential problems with a lot of inflow and such that we've been addressing on a case-by-case basis. That will help with the monitoring. You know, as much as we can get out as possible, the better off we're going to be in the end. You know, we won't know where we'll be until you see the final numbers. you know, if we have to do additional storage or, you know, what the end result's going to end up being.
We will have to put some kind of screening device for overflow 11 by at the end of Jefferson Street. That will require screening.
When?
I think that's like where they do the flow monitoring and decide if we need extra storage. That will be part of the
Next phase.
Yeah.
Okay. But overall, it's been a good project. Decatur is fortunate to have a Fleming, a quality company like Fleming locally here that we can, you know, fortunately they were the low bidder and,
Yeah,
and they were,
better.
yeah.
You gotta stress
yeah.
that.
But he does a great job. Thank you guys.
Thanks.
Thank you.
The last meeting, we okayed the company, help me out, New Focus HR, to work on our job descriptions. And as a follow-up to that, when Phyllis notified Kristen from HR, New Focus, she replied back and said that we really should update our policy and procedure manual, that there's been so many things happen with the National Labor Relations Board and National Labor Act of whatever year, and she said there's 28 changes in 315. What's 315? March of 15. March of 15 alone, there were 28 changes just that 1 month. And that, yes, well, we just did ours, was 5 years ago, that we likely should do that. We talked with Tim about that. Tim agrees that we should likely do that. Once we do that, then this company would keep it up to date. It's not like we'd have to come back and do it 5 years from now, because they're going to keep it up to date as part of a contractual basis. Phyllis, do you know the amount that all this would be?
Yeah. The job descriptions were $4,500, and then she's also going to do some organizational charts for $700, and then to keep all that updated, it'll be a $99 annual fee. And then to do the handbook would be $2,899. So a total of $8,198.
You got the money?
Well, I talked to Dan, and he said the utilities would help pay for the cost too.
Dan's a pretty
since
good
it
guy.
also, yeah, isn't he great? Since it also includes the utility side, they would help pay for half. So the other option is for our portion, since we don't have anything in professional services for common council, this would all be paid out next year too. So we have some capital improvement money in there. If we could transfer it into the professional service and pay our portion, that's what I'm suggesting, since we didn't really plan on doing this until recently.
So were we going to do the handbook, or did last time we talked about not doing the
Yeah, last time we talked about not doing, we didn't think we needed to because it was only 5 years old. But when we went back to her, she highly encouraged us to do it and gave us a lot of different reasons. You're welcome to read her long email here. And then when we ran it by Tim
Suggested, yeah, we probably should,
Yeah.
just because the changes are small.
There's so many changes.
And she would keep us updated on this, like this last,
a different company?
yeah, because the
Yeah,
last
that-
company
you can throw that
didn't
away.
keep it updated.
Oh, these are different bids?
Yeah, that was just another idea we were going to
Okay.
discuss, but we talked about it even before the Board Works meeting. You can just dispose of those.
So it's $98 a year after we do the primary cost?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is,
keep us
this
up to
is
date.
not relevant.
No.
That's why I was
Sorry
looking
about
at
that.
numbers and I was ready to ask a question.
So I would welcome a motion to go ahead and utilize New Focus HR. Why can't I remember the name of that company?
What'd you say the name again?
New Focus HR.
I'll make a motion to
Add the,
add the handbook and with New Focus HR, and then continue that yearly update.
right. The motion, I have a second from Tyler. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Thank you very much.
$99 a year.
Well, whatever she does for us, we're doing for everybody else. Last thing on the agenda, I believe that was 13 minutes till 8, and we're down to the last item on the agenda, is spotlight on Decatur. Maybe Craig can speak to some of this. Linda Morris got a hold of me today, wanted to know if we wanted to be a sponsor again this year. Last year, we were a $1,500 Spotlight Premier sponsor. With that, you get a booth, which we generally will put one of our departments in that booth. Newspaper ads, Spotlight brochure, a banner, radio commercials, hourly stage mentions, etc., etc. And also part of that money goes back towards a $100 giveaway that someone will win that day. If we don't go that route, then the next lower level is $1,200. We've been doing the $1,500 the past few years. Craig, do you have anything to add? Will Spotlight be pretty much the same format, or give me any changes?
Well, there's a few small changes, but we're working it out. We just had our first committee meeting today on it. So,
Okay.
the date, I believe, is
The date of it is March 11th.
11th, which would be a Saturday. But will you recommend that I sustain from any other
Yeah, you probably would.
conversation?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if there's anything you want to add to this, but you shouldn't vote.
No.
Anything else? You said this first meeting was today, so you really don't know much more.
I've got to create.
Out of curiosity, do we have any idea what department?
Would be in the booth.
Yeah.
Last year, I think Park and Rec was in it. Do you remember? Is that right, Jeremy? Or who was in it last year?
The city donated it last year.
To somebody else?
This year
Or-
to the Belmont Art Students.
Oh, okay.
But, yeah, you bring up a good point, recycling could be a good opportunity.
Yep.
But I just remember when Stormwater had to do a bunch of advertising and community education. Where do we stand on that? Do we need to do more of
You
that?
know, I
right
should
now?
put that on the agenda. Last week, we went to the county council meeting, got an overwhelming reply to utilizing Adams County Soil and Water Conservation. Today, Sandy Vogelweed went to the commissioners meeting, and they also voted unanimous to support that. So now I need to have Mr. Baker draft this interlocal agreement. That the commissioners did ask Sandy when it would go into effect. They all suggested January 1st. So we'll have our stormwater management director situation taken care of finally. Now, where are we in the scheme of things with stormwater? Sandy Vogelweed has contacted IDEM. She says we're in compliant on everything. I guess what happened was down in Indianapolis, the person who was kind of the head of stormwater management, Ann or anybody want to jump in here and help me. What was her name? Richie or Reggie? Yeah, she left, doesn't work there anymore. She was kind of the point person on all this. And since she's out of there, they're kind of not paying near as much attention.
Yeah, she has plenty of ideas of what cities should be doing with stormwater, and I think it's kind of going to be a little more logical, maybe.
Yeah.
Nate was doing radio spots.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, we're still paying for that.
Yeah.
We have a contract with them, a yearly contract.
We use half of that contract for our mercury education that we have to do.
There
are
are
ongoing-
requirements.
But do you think that
things
new
that we-
guy will want to use Spotlight then?
Possibly. Him, recycling, maybe the two of them together could use it, as far as that goes. It's a double booth, isn't it?
You can
I think.
split them up however you'd like.
Yeah. Bill?
Yeah, I was with Nate when the manual for stormwater was adopted under, who was the girl?
Joan?
And she had written this whole manual on what the city was going to do. And this Reggie came in and monitored that manual all the time. So when Nate took over, he had to live up to what those rules that we had established in our manual. So that was where all the advertising came into play. because Joan had written that we were going to advertise. So that's the contract he signed with the radio station, because that was kind of a mandatory thing that she wanted. So that's how all the advertising came into play. He signed a contract with the radio station.
He shared it with us.
Well, he shared with others, but stormwater was the main thing.
I'm just saying, if there's an opportunity for us to do that, kill two birds with one stone,
We can look into that.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
So, I'll make a motion to go ahead and proceed with the $1,500 spotlight.
I'll second it.
A motion from Cam and a second from Wiley. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, the same? Thank you. That is everything on the agenda. Let's go out here to the department heads. Dan, you have anything tonight?
No check.
Sustained. Greg? Les? Jim? Roger, come on.
Yep, I got something. Hey, just wanted to give you a quick update on our flood homes we're buying out of Parkview. We're going to close on the last one here.
Next week.
Second of this month. And I've already been in contact with environmental people on it, and hopefully we can get them turned over to Jeremy here first part of December, and they can start on some of them as they can get at them.
Good.
So, real well.
Yep. Another good project.
Yeah,
What time's your flood response meeting tomorrow?
10 o'clock.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jeremy?
No.
Ann? Bill? Melissa? One thing tomorrow Jeremy and myself and maybe his assistant and maybe Dan, tomorrow is our pre-con meeting for the NDOT project of the raising of US 224. So we'll know a little bit more about a timeline and et cetera.
Wish us luck.
Yeah, wish us luck after tomorrow. Council members, anything? Tim?
I just want to salute Jim's hat.
You don't want to salute Roger's hat, though?
No.
Okay. Phyllis? I have nothing else, folks.
There was a very good meeting last night at the hospital.
Yes.
Could you bring up and mention a few words about that? We had decent attendance.
Well, I think we've announced a couple meetings ago that the city was awarded a Hometown Collaboration Initiative grant from OPRA, Office of Community and Rural Affairs. Decatur and Logansport were the two communities selected. It's not a big money grant. Yes, we do get $5,000, which we have to match, but what it is worth is thousands of dollars of training and fact gathering and involving people. And last night was pretty much the kickoff meeting, the initial meeting. I think we had about, with the instructors there, close to 15 or so people and they broke us into groups. So we looked over Adams County data,
Demographics,
education,
employment.
yeah, and a lot of good discussion followed. And this was the first half of the information gathering session. We will endure a lot of meetings with this Hometown Collaboration Initiative, HCI, process over the next several months. This fact gathering session is supposed to be 5 hours long, and we took care of 2.5 hours last night, and we'll take care of the next 2.5 hours here in a couple of weeks. But as we proceed through this HCI initiative, we're going to be looking for more and more community volunteers to participate in the meetings. There will be a community-wide survey that's going to go out about quality of life and I'm not sure what all that'll be on that. That's part of what we did last night. The findings from that will help us write this survey. Ultimately, when it's all said and done, we will, as a community, have a project that we'll take on. So it's kind of confusing, but
Well, I think it's just the natural outflow of, like, the greater Decatur. I think if the state had had this program when we started this initiative in 2012, this is exactly what we needed.
Probably would have done it first.
Yeah, I mean, it's the oversight, it's the direction of how you get moving, how you get going, and I think we were successful, maybe despite ourselves, but this is, I think, refining it and ideally getting more people involved so that it's not the same people.
True.
And to create a better strategic plan that fits our county and city.
We did a lot of things on, I think so far our assumptions have been, well, pretty good, but the data last night was still eye-opening.
Yeah, there was a number of items that,
For example, I don't remember the exact number, but one of the things we talked about was how many people live in Adams County and work in Adams County. How many people live in Adams County and commute outside the county for employment. And how many people live outside Adams County and commute into Adams County for their employment. And the amount of people, there were 7,000 and some odd people that live in the county and work here. There's about the same amount of people, 7,000 and some odd, that live in Adams County and commute to Fort Wayne, Van Wert, Bluffton, elsewhere for employment. But the amount of people that commute from out of the county into Adams County, that's huge. But it surprised me. It was a lot higher than I thought. It was 5,600 or something like that. So it's, we think, well, geez, everybody works in Fort Wayne, well, that's not necessarily the case. There's a lot of people from outside the county that come here to work as well.
A lot of Ohio people.
Yeah.
We have people that work in Elkhart and St. Joseph County.
Yeah. In Marion County, we had 100 and some Adams County residents that are employed in Marion County. Now, they may work from home, but they're employed in Marion County. So there's a lot of pretty neat information.
yeah, the data was collected and kind of compiled by Ball State and Purdue,
Yeah.
who are the team leaders of this.
Technically, my wife works for a company in Indianapolis that works out of the home.
Mhm.
Right.
Anything else for the good of the council? If not, I would maybe like to pay some bills tonight if somebody might make a motion.
I make a motion to pay the claims.
Second. I have a motion and a second to pay the claims. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, the same.
Motion to adjourn.
I have a motion to adjourn by Matt.
Hear ye.
Do I have I have a second from Craig. All in favor? Opposed, the same. Good deal. Thank you. We're adjourned.